Yes, this is Tactical Red, and I'm giving you the best tactical and technical insight to Manchester United games on my match reaction. And this game was a 1-0 game, but we played absolutely shocking. We deserved to lose the game by three goals at least. Um, Ten Hag is really, really, really showing me that he's struggling, in my opinion. I think he's struggling as a manager. I think it's going under the radar because Ten Hag has a lot of backers because like me, I backed him. I wanted him as a manager. I saw the way Ajax played football and I thought he could replicate that at Manchester United. But so far, he has not. So far, he's proven that he's not capable of replicating quality football. And now he's trying to play, he's changed his whole style and philosophy in pre-season to play counter-attacking football with Mason Mount and Bruno pressing like their strikers. This is a shocking tactical decision by Ten Hag, and this is going to lose him his job. There's no doubt about it. There is no way that we're going to play any quality style of football or win games with that type of play. Most teams will beat us in the league with that type of play. I know he might change to go ultra defensive because he doesn't like losing, but we're just going back and forth here with Ten Hag. 1 minute, 1 minute we're playing this high intensity passing, then the next minute we're going ultra defensive. Then we're playing counter attacking football for half of the season last season, and now we're persisting with it, and we're not trying to change it. And we to me, it's a poor decision. It's poor management by Ten Hag, and Mason Mount has been the worst signing that we've made this summer because he's basically irrelevant. He's an irrelevant footballer in our team. He does nothing. I feel sometimes when he's in the team, we are playing with 10 men because he doesn't really he empties the midfield. He does the opposite. He does what Scott McTominay does, but in the other end of the field where Scott McTominay doesn't just want the ball from the defenders. Mason Mount um, doesn't want the ball in the midfield from some. He wants the ball like close to the goal or on the byline. He wants to. He doesn't really want to hold the ball and control it and do something with it. That's and people say that this is Ten Hag's guy, number 7. I mean, I have a feeling that it's John Murtough signing, to be honest with you. I don't feel like it's Ten Hag signing. People believe that Ten Hag has this ultra control over the club, but I don't think he does. He wants to sell Maguire, but Maguire's still in the squad. He wants to sell McTominay, McTominay's still in the squad. You know, Fred played more games than McTominay last season, but we're selling Fred, and it should be McTominay. And I think Ten Hag, at a push, if he was to decide it, I think he would decide to sell McTominay if this wasn't this British biased football club that we have at Manchester United. And you can see why we keep failing because we keep holding on to average players. Um, in the game, we got completely outrun in the midfield because the midfield became non-existent. When Casemiro is in that midfield, I know he's been left by Bruno and Mount, which obviously isn't a good thing. But when he is in that midfield, his legs are gone. He isn't a great passer of the ball, and he hasn't got great movement and ability to get around the pitch. So I think the two most important things of a DM is these two, and I think he lacks both. And I think in a Real Madrid team that he was in, the reason why he did so well was because they had two passers of the ball, and therefore he would just be destroyers, and they would stay close to him in the midfield as well. Where Bruno and Mason Mount, they empty the midfield, they leave him on it by himself, and he's not that good of a player to handle it. So he's becoming exposed, and he's becoming slower and older. So this is really, I mean, Ten Hag. I mean, if this is what he's been working on pre-season, it's been a waste of a pre-season. If this is the best he can do, I'm really looking at the manager right now because I see what's going on is actually down to him and his selections. I don't see Mason Mount as a player that can play with Bruno Fernandes. I think we should have bought a different type of midfielder than Mason Mount. I don't think we needed that type of midfielder, and I think it's a very, very bad signing. We haven't even seen Hoyland yet, and I don't think Hoyland is going to make us any different, to be honest with you. Onana is good, but and we have that's it. That's who else have we actually signed? I'm not even sure we've signed anyone except for these three players, and they're all like they're not underwhelming because I think Onana is a good player, but we need like another three players. To be honest with you, we need another midfielder, a striker, another striker, and if Maguire goes, another defender. That's what we actually need, and I don't see that happening. Our technical football isn't there. It's non-existent. We don't pass. We don't create chances. We don't pass and move in the final third. We just hope that Bruno Fernandes does pull something out of the bag and create something, and that's it. That we're living on hope. And Ten Hag is supposed to be a top class manager who will top class football, and he cannot produce it. He has not produced it since he's arrived at Man United. I have not seen top class football. I've seen a few games: Tottenham at home, Barcelona away, Chelsea away. We played good. Um, Bits in the Arsenal away game, but not a lot. Yeah, I'm really nitpicking at games here. We don't really batter teams. We don't, this is Manchester United, and we look like this is Manchester United, and we look like we look like we're as good as Wolves. We look like we're levels with Wolves, to be honest with you, and they look better than us. It's embarrassing that they have players that can carry the ball in the midfield, and we have no one. It's embarrassing that Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount go so forward in go so high up the pitch. Maybe Ten Hag is telling them this, by the way, but it's embarrassing that they go so high up the pitch that it empties our midfield, and we do not do anything to change that throughout the game until we bring on Eriksen and Sancho. This is facts of what's been going on with Ten Hag. It's a waste of a preseason. It's a waste of a transfer window, and we were very lucky to win that game. And we have Tottenham next, and I do believe that they can beat us definitely. Like I'm not saying they will, but I do believe they can. I do believe they have more of a chance to beat us than they've ever had. We are so vulnerable at the back. We are so weak at the back. We are so weak in midfield, and we are so weak up front. Like it's terrible. It is absolutely terrible. Um, with Blake Sancho on the right, I think this is the key. I think Sancho needs to really need to find the best position of Sancho because at least he's going to create things for other players. Because we definitely know that Garnacho can't and Anthony definitely can't. Anthony's been the biggest waste of money, more than Pogba because he has no talent. At least we knew Pogba had talent, but Anthony clearly doesn't. So it's been a massive waste of money. Him and Maguire, free, free, free pay. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I don't know what to say. I think I think he's going to struggle if to keep his job by the end of the season if he continues to do this because he's becoming inconsistent and he's becoming. Um, I think he's becoming a little bit exposed. The fact that he cannot get the best out of this team. That's what a manager's job is for, and he's proven that he can't do it consistently. And that, to me, that is exposure. That is exposure. Um, you know, our our attack is poor. That's the facts. No chances created. Rashford up front doesn't work, but obviously you got no option, so I understand it. But at the same time, I think you play Sancho as a false nine, and I think it's a better option. Play Sancho as a false nine, Rashford on the left, and Anthony on the right at least. Then Rashford up front because I've never seen it work. I know we played a few games of it at the beginning of last season, but ultimately it doesn't work. Hasn't got the movement and he hasn't got the touch coming short, laying off balls for the midfield and the wingers. He hasn't got the movement in the box. He's just not. He's just not that type of player. He's not that type of striker. He's not. He's not a striker. So Ten Hag is making so many mistakes right now. So many. And it's not going to be long until people are screaming Ten Hag out. I'm telling you, it's coming. It's coming.